Hey guys, what's good and welcome back to the Big Podcast with me, Hassan Rahman. Guys, syukur Alhamdulillah aku happy gila hari ni. This episode aku feel very hyped up because ever since aku return from taking a break, aku rasa dah nak masuk bila kita patah balik dalam bulan 1 January. For the past 6 months, finally syukur Alhamdulillah sangat-sangat that kita have already gotten a new sponsorship. Musibah. Kasih korang, aku belanja korang bunyi Zulawab. Okay, so aku feel very happy guys, feel very honoured because bila kita buat podcast ni, of course I want to focus on the values, nak share dengan korang the stories, the takeaways and all, right? But at the same point of time, as you guys know, dalam podcast ni, sometimes we do rely on sponsors and everything, but aku pernah share dengan korang yang aku aku bukan picky about sponsors, tapi aku pun nak have a sponsor that have the credibility, especially these sponsors of mine. Nanti aku akan introduce him to you guys and to know him better. And I think korang pun dah biasa dengar nama company dia. Aku feel honoured gila guys because he's sitting right beside me. With me here is Isra.
Yes.
Daripada Cassia Studio. Isra nama
yes, Israfil.
Israfil. Tapi orang panggil kau Isra.
Yeah.
Kau tahu aku bila cakap pasal but the good thing is for the past 1 year plus aku buat Rebeat Podcast kan. Aku belum ada sponsor daripada ID company.
I see.
So kau kira the first and aku feel very happy and honoured because I know having an ID company is not easy. And aku bila every time berbual pasal ID ni, aku selalu teringat balik waktu aku pindah rumah. Pasal bila aku pindah rumah, aku dah pindah rumah about 6 months lah. And it was really a very very stressful moments for me. Aku ada posted lah video pasal rumah aku. Banyak orang suka, tapi to be honest aku tak suka sendiri dengan rumah aku. But it is very important where as an ID company, what they provide, the values they can give to the clients kan. Tapi sebelum kita nak berbual pasal Cassia, aku nak tanya pasal kau dululah. Isra, kau memang pemalu?
Sikit lah. Yeah.
Tapi I think you have a strength in the company as well. But untuk kau juga Isra, how long have you been running Cassia Studio?
Kita incorporated in year 2022 August, so it's almost coming to 3 years now.
Faham. And then dalam sebelum kau buka Cassia Studio, actually what inspire you to own to run this ID company?
I was from the architecture background.
Architecture
background. So sebelum NS kita buat intern in RSP Architect, and then NS after NS I joined SAA Architects doing MRT project.
Wow.
Namely the Thomson Line. So I'm in charge of especially 2 project, which is Great World City punya MRT dengan Havelock.
Tapi pernah tak dulu kau pernah ever imagine that one day you will be a business owner?
I've always masa tengah kerja tu 9 to 5, 9 to 5 ni I always wanted to open my own company back in the time I'm not sure which line I'm going towards.
Tapi then what is the reason behind this Cassia? Maksudnya Cassia tu maksudnya apa?
Cassia, so Cassia Studio ni actually my brother advised me to choose a name that is following a road name, so it sounds more established or sound more dah lama lah kira. Especially in the new company kan. So think of a road name, I can't think of any other road name other than the road name that I'm staying at, which is Cassia Crescent. So that is also another part of why the business is named as such, because the mission is to get out of the rental house, which is at Cassia Crescent.
Kau live in the rental flat dulu. That's interesting. Tapi aku suka gila dengan nama Cassia ni because why? I mean as a business owner, branding is very important. And of course kita nak have a business that we can also have a bigger outreach. Kita boleh go to other races, baik Melayu, Cina, India. The name Cassia itself, it doesn't sound like it's a Malay punya company. Bila macam first aku dengar Cassia, aku thought it was a Chinese company.
I see.
Yeah, so you can target to different punya audience, right? So but tadi bila kau cakap yang kau came from a rental flat, how was your upbringing, bro?
Okay, actually when I was born, when I was young, I grew up in semi-detached in Kembangan.
Okay.
Because my father is also a businessman.
Okay.
And when you ask when I wanted to have a business, memang daripada kecil I always want to be just like him, a business
so
owner.
He inspired you,
My arwah father, but he met into a bankruptcy and lost the house. And from then on, kita has been shifting around, downgrading, and tapi kita large family with a lot of things from that house kan. So it's a bit tough to find a suitable place to stay.
Okay.
So end up kita sewa satu HDB punya rumah by HDB Cassia in Dakota Crescent, and then kita semua tinggal tempat rumah makcik, which is bigger lah.
And berapa orang tu?
And it's HDB
rumah?
only, HDB EA. So
berapa ramai orang?
Ramai kita family of 10.
Dalam satu rumah gitu. Wow. And lepas tu muka berapa?
Which point of time I remember is primary school. I stayed there in the semi-detached, half of a bungalow lah basically, when I was in primary school.
Tapi at that point of time, bila kau kena go through this kind of situation kan, does it affect kau punya studies tak?
Studies not really, because aku tak belajar tak lah. Aku banyak main-main lah kan. Kat sekolah not really main-main lah. When I was younger, I was a bit in my own world. Aku just like to ponder upon things, macam just be myself and observe everything around lah. But not really making friends, talking. Ada juga kawan, of course kita play sometimes and in recess time semua. Tapi most of the time dalam kelas I suka daydreaming.
Daydreaming lah.
Until I'm primary 5 baru aku wake up lah.
Tapi tu kau tengah daydreaming to own ID company lah.
Bukan, belum lagi.
Itu dah jadi reality lah kan. Because it starts with a dream apa.
Yes, correct.
Tapi this is very interesting because kau dah tanam azam daripada kau kecil. And of course to get what you have dream of is not easy. And to run a business, when we talk about a business standpoint, ID company ni is not just about having a company. You are not just dealing with your staff, you are dealing with the clients. And clients who are paying you a big amount of money, the responsibilities are very high. Macam what gives you the courage to buka Cassia ni actually?
Daripada 9 to 5 tu, I always look at the high scorer lah. Orang-orang yang pangkat tinggi kat sana kan. How can I ever compete with them with my studies? I mean, I study architecture in ITE before I joined SA Architect with so I always wanted to step out because I did calculate my salary versus the hour spent. I think at that point of time I was paid 1850 starting salary. So aku kira
balik standard lah at that point of time.
Standard ke?
That point of time lah.
That point of time. I mean kalau kita calculate the numbers of hours dengan kalau OT is different maybe in an hour I was paid, how much is that? I forget the number, but maybe $7 if I remember correctly. So it's not, and it's also a desk bound job. I can do more lah. I always feel I can do more. Why am I wasting time sitting at the desk kan? So I decided to quit after I finished my 2 years bond with BCA. So after the quit tu, I joined another ID company and I learned the steps lah.
Tapi kenapa ID? Since kau daripada architecture, dia dah kena dengan ID jugalah.
Correct.
Tapi but it's a good move because aku pun selalu share and advise orang juga sebelum kita nak start a business, kita nak kena belajar dengan orang dulu.
Betul.
To understand the process and everything all. But among all the industry, kenapa kau choose ID?
Actually, I didn't want to do ID at first. I know daripada dulu nak buat business tu, I'm looking into product.
Jual produk
macam Dyson, Secret Lab sekarang. I really admire that kind of product lah. That's the best way in business lah actually. But never in my mind I wanted to open an ID company. So after I've joined the other ID company where I learn a lot, I take a pause to sell kereta pula.
Oh, jual kereta.
Jual kereta pula
so,
for
kau
2
build
months.
kau punya sales punya skill lah kira.
Aku nak tengok lah. Yeah.
Okay.
Tapi after 2 months of selling car, I couldn't take sitting at the showroom from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. every day. I feel like a bird in a cage lah.
Oh, kau jual kereta kena duduk je.
Oh, kat studio. Kat dia punya showroom.
So, tapi ada
Jalan
customer
melawat.
lah.
Weekdays kurang ada semua. I feel like I can do more. Sama juga macam I remember back in the days when I was working in a desk bound job kan. I feel like I can do more lah.
Faham. Macam kau always know that kau ada potential ni. Macam there's more that you could have achieved. Tapi bila kau cakap tadi kau kerja dengan ID company kan, how long it took for you to macam decide that okay, aku dah ready lah to start aku punya own?
Because in 2 years I completed 40 over projects lah. And I'm the top sales in that company.
Aku baru nak tanya, kira 40 tu dah kira banyak gila. For 40.
Yes, 40.
And that is based on apa skill yang kau ada dapat. Maksudnya is it your sales skills ke, atau because kau came from an architectural background ke, atau?
I think both lah. Of course, when in terms of sales, we need to have knowledge also. Kita bukan bullshitting orang aja. Kita really know what we are doing kan. And macam technicalities whether this thing can be done or cannot be done. It's not magic lah. Macam semua can. Tapi check dia tak boleh, bilang dia tak boleh. So memang kita tahu in physics ke science ataupun construction, this is possible to create. Faham. So from that, it helps with my sale and I managed to close a lot of deals lah.
Okay. And apa buat kau have the courage to, macam maksudnya kenapa kau dah make that decision? Okay, aku rasa aku dah ready lah nak buka company.
Sebelum tu, lepas dah 2 bulan kerja jual kereta tu, I tried to join back the company that I left.
Okay.
But they asked me to submit my resume lagi. Macam pelik kan. I mean, I was from there, why must I submit my own resume again? So I did submit, but they didn't want me back lah. So when they asked me about my resume pun, I feel okay, it seems like they don't want me back lah. So after leaving the car sales, I got nowhere else to go. Then I take my skill and make my own company, Cassia Studio.
Tapi kau rasa tu, is it a very high risk ke, atau macam ni gamble lah, buat dah jadi
Yeah, it's calculated risk. Memang definitely in business, I know from start confirm ada risk lah. And along the way pun kita ada buat banyak macam sales of motorcycle yang kita beli, jual, dapat duit sikit. So this from young kita dah memang buat small business that is not really a company.
But to supplement the income lah.
Yes, not really supplement. It's just macam hobby. Macam kita try to jual barang. It's fun thing lah to do. Small business macam tiba-tiba buat gini-gini kan. Jual motor sendiri semua. It's still part and parcel of business, although it's not a company. So I just took the calculated risk to start my own company.
Okay, so that means since kau cakap your Cassia has already been registered since 2022.
August.
So you've been around for already 3 years.
Yes.
Can you share with us what were the challenges in the beginnings of Cassia Studio?
In the beginning, when we started, kita rasa pencang macam limping dalam Melayu pencang, tempang okay. Tempang sikit because first time kan. It's the first proper business. I created the Akra for private limited, and then kita just rented a place to do all the sales lah. And then from that, kita just terjun botol je. Try to do everything properly and then we just see how it goes. So along the way, of course, it's a new business. I tried to buy in a lot of things, spend here and there on buying some products lah. Tapi the challenges, I ingat satu je. Pernah ada satu challenges ni, which is quite scary lah.
Okay.
Scary when we are in the rates.
Okay.
Tapi alhamdulillah we survived that lah.
Okay.
So in the rates macam I was worried lah. Macam project masih ada, duit dah tak cukup. And I choose the difficulty hard level lah to make this business without any loans. Okay. It's all my own money semua. So kalau as much as possible we don't want to take any interest based loan lah. So alhamdulillah we masa dah in the rates tu, we just push we close a
In the
lot of.
race tu maksudnya you guys were having cash flow issues lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cash flow issue. So a bit worrying lah. Worrying, especially the start, and a bit shameful juga kalau kita tak dapat revive from that lah.
Okay.
Tapi Alhamdulillah we push harder and a lot of support from our masyarakat who trusted us and signed their renovation with us and that have helped us
I see.
Survive that lah.
Okay, and also right, for Cassia Studios, your name is very familiar in the podcast scene now.
Alhamdulillah.
I mean, aku pun kenal kau from other podcast juga, and that's why you have decided to, market your brand in the podcast scene, and how it has already impacted you on that.
Podcast scene. I believe we are just like everybody else. Kira-kira whatever we tune into is whatever everybody else is tuned into.
Yeah.
So I noticed that everyone is engaged into this podcast world. Masa naik kereta, tempat office, cucuk telinga. So that is where we want to outreach to the majority, to the market that we are here lah.
Yeah. Aku still feel honoured lah. Pasal aku selalu dengar Cassia Studios dekat even all the big podcast in Singapore. But having you here to sit beside me, it's really an honour lah, to be honest. Bila aku dapat Cassia Studio to sponsor Rebuild, and this is to us, Rebuild is a milestone and this kind of an achievement. But of course, kita pun nak for you to get a good response. Because why? Like I said tadi, bila aku nak tengok orang nak sponsor ni, I need to ensure that the company have good credibility, a good credentials. Pasal kita pun need to do our homework. Likewise juga, macam you all coming into a podcast pun, korang nak kena do your homework to see whether there's good ROIs and everything. But now, kita will be for Cassia Studios kan, since you have already been around for 3 years, aku dengar pun korang dah nak pindah.
Yes.
Yeah, so you guys nak upgrade kan macam ni?
Yes, kita nak kena upgrade lah. So that place that kita have rented is not in line with the branding that we have achieved so far lah.
Okay.
So macam I feel like orang dah dengar pasal good thing about Cassia Studio. Memang reviews kat Google mah Alhamdulillah is very top stars lah.
Yeah.
Tapi I'm worried that when they come to our humble studio, they will feel like tak equal. So I guess it's time to upgrade lah. Because tempat yang the first tempat yang kita currently still using is kena naik tangga. Ada some time we have to homeowner dah sampai, tapi kita kena meet tempat lain nearby because he's handicapped lah. He cannot take the staircase up. I mean, and also parking pun susah nak dapat.
Ya, betul. Tapi ni diorang tak in the process of tengah nak pindah. Kita nanti satu hari ni kita akan share dengan korang Cassia punya studio baru dekat mana. So okay, there's a lot of ID companies out there. Okay, there's a lot. It's very very competitive, right? So what is unique about Cassia Studio compared to the rest of the IDs out there?
We have derived to our unique selling points into 3 points, maybe plus one more lah. So the 3 points is that kita ni comprehensive, meaning when we do quotation, kita akan ensure that the quotation is comprehensive lah. Meaning semua benda yang perlu buat dalam rumah tu kita dah ada taruh dalam quotation tu. We don't want any instances where we just put vague items, benda-benda yang boleh nampak aje, and then bilang okay ni price dia murah je kan. Lepas tu baru upsell to the customer, ni belum charge, tu belum charge. Nobody likes this.
Hari tu bila aku tengok package kau, aku macam kenapa aku tak kenal kau siang-siang? Pasal bila aku tengok everything semua dah inclusive then I don't have to top up here and there, because that's what I have to experience with my previous ID. And then the next punya ni.
So like you experience is cash flow. Macam kita dah prepare, okay, this is the budget for renovation, tapi ada banyak tambah-tambah. Nobody likes that, and it's quite scary for the cash flow of the homeowners. So we have ensured every line is comprehensive. Number 2 is pre-planned renovation schedule. So kita akan pre-book all your renovation. That's kita tak nak over-promise lah. We always say 3 to 4 months renovation timeline. Tapi our average is from 4 weeks until 8 weeks. Tak nak over-promise jugalah. But we are very comfortable and confident about our timeline because of the pre-planned renovation. Kira-kira lepas hacking, Habis the next day terus ada tiler, terus ada electrical. So dia tak ada macam an instance where after hacking habis
Tolong pause.
terus, boss you free tak? Boleh buat segment tiling tak? Oh saya tak free, next 2 weeks baru saya free. Then this is all causing a lot of unnecessary delays. That's why some renovation I heard even BTO je 8 bulan. Mana I couldn't comprehend that lah.
Tak boleh brain lah macam gitu,
Tak boleh brain. 8 months for simple renovation.
Yep.
So our fastest is lesser than 4 weeks lah.
Wow.
Tapi don't want to overpromise. We always say 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, I mean this is subjective depending on the condition of the place
So
juga kan.
every renovation ada dia punya unique obstacles that we might face. We never know, and in the end of the day semua Allah yang rancang lah.
Yes, correct.
And lastly is our post renovation. Post renovation defects check by third party defect scanning. So kita tak nak own self check own self. At the end of the you know about BTO, kalau orang dapat kunci, diorang kena apa nama dia, engage defect scanning, to scan all the defects to report to BSC or Building Service Center or HDB to rectify the house kan. We also want that team which are apa nama dia, which are following the guidelines of BCA, Conquas, to check our works, whether there's any defects or not. Because sometimes homeowner wouldn't know this is a defect. Homeowner might think this is a defect, but it's not a defect. So it's best to have a third party to check our work, so that in the end of the day, there's clearly no defects.
Itu bagus ni. Ini aku tak pernah dengar sih. This is the first time yang aku dengar that you guys are providing this in the package.
It's inside the quotation.
Inside the quotation. Wow, that's interesting.
And of course, the +1 dari cakap 3+1 is our renovation timeline lah. Our timeline is more not renovation timeline. Our payment terms, payment milestone terms. Milestone payment which is more win-win ataupun lagi safer for the both homeowner and also us, because sometimes the second payment is 95%. A lot of time it is required for homeowner to pay the contractor or the ID company 95% after tiling works / before carpentry confirmation. Meaning tiling baru siap, diorang dah minta 95%. That's why you see some apa nama tempat tu, some renovation nightmare. Semua rumah dorang tak ada carpentry, tiling je dah siap, tapi bayar pun dah 95%, dah hilang, company dah hilang.
Yeah, correct.
So we have placed properly where we know that we will be paid before installing your carpentry, and you know that the bulk of your renovation items semua dah ada.
I think kita pun boleh on another day kita boleh talk about reno scams juga. But I think recently pun kita dengar banyak cases lah for reno scams. You know what to keep a lookout for. I mean technically Cassia Studio pun will be with us throughout juga to share with you guys what you guys need to be careful, what you guys need to take a look out, and also I mean like at the end of the day we want to share values. The focus is to share values to the listeners, to at least you guys understand better, to make better decision. Because I didn't had a good experience lah dengan ID aku. So bila aku datang jumpa korang, berbual dengan korang macam tak aku ambil Cassia siang-siang kan. Yeah, but also thank you so much Isra for coming over and then sharing your stories dengan kita about Cassia Studios. And how can they reach out to you?
Follow us on our Instagram. Also our number lah. Our phone number is all written there.
Okay, boleh.
Sekarang punya zaman tak payah memorize number lah.
Betul. Just DM boleh,
follow on Instagram, so that you always see what we post on Instagram and be reminded of our intention to be doing good for the renovation industry.
Yes, correct. So korang boleh follow aja Cassia Studios, because sometimes you may never know in the future, korang at least boleh prepare dulu. You know, to me honestly kan, the preparation is very important. Although aku plan nak pindah next year, aku selalunya the 1 year before aku dah start planning. Aku dah start to follow, and aku start to make sure everything is okay, inquire dengan dorang. And consultation is free.
Yes, free.
Consultation is free guys. So korang boleh follow dorang, Cassia Studios. Dorang ada dekat Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, semua ada. All social media platform semua ada. Korang boleh reach out to them, just inquire je dengan dorang, get to know more about what they are providing in their services. So once again, thank you so much Isra. Kita akan, of course we will follow up again to share more of reno tips, reno scams ni semua. Isra will be with us to share. So I will see you guys till the next episode guys. With that, settle.